What is up, guys? It is the Post Pro Podcast. It's episode 55, and we're all here, and we're going to be talking about movie stuff and movie news. And speaking of movie news, Sebastian, just take over the movie news.
You already know.
Oh,
I think the biggest news story of the week is Mr. Travis Scott, the man, the myth, the legend, is going to be. He's written a film for A24, and not much else is known other than that. It's for his new album, and it's just interesting. I don't know what's going to come with that. I really don't.
You know if it's a feature length, it's a short film?
It's a film. It is a feature film.
Damn.
Is it going to be like sort of like a visual album, kind of like okay, yeah? Because I know
So that's one of
Childish Gambino partnered up with Amazon to do Island
Soul
or whatever.
Yeah, with Rihanna, I think, right? Wasn't it Rihanna? I think it was Rihanna. I
wonder
was.
if it's going to be something similar to that.
But anyway, yeah. So that's coming. Clockwork Orange is getting a 4K release. I thought that was also worth noting. That'll be very cool. We also have a couple other things. We had the first image for the Lord of the Rings Amazon show. They have collectively spent $500 million on this show so far. So just worth note. And the image is quite beautiful, I will say. It is quite beautiful. So the money is going to good use. So yes. Also, Clifford the Big Red Dog was pulled from Toronto Film Festival. So
sucks.
Clifford, like I remember we were watching Jungle Cruise and Jordan's like, this movie has been pulled indefinitely, and I was like, are you serious? And yeah, he wasn't kidding. So Clifford the Big Red Dog, I guess, just sucks or something.
Wow,
that's really unfortunate. We were only a month away.
Yeah, I know.
I was looking forward to seeing that on the big screen.
Also, I think probably the biggest casting news of the week is probably Brendan Fraser coming aboard Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon.
Nice.
Which
cool.
is pretty interesting. He's going to be beside Leonardo DiCaprio, so that's pretty cool. Also, interest of me, there is a Led Zeppelin documentary coming to the Venice Film Festival lineup. I thought was worthy of mention because it actually looks pretty good. And we also, by the way, this is the last thing I'm going to mention. Martin Scorsese's superhero feud has fueled up again thanks to James Gunn. James Gunn has started the Marvel DC superhero film battle with Scorsese once again.
I saw that interview I saw where he kind of called out Scorsese, and I was like, oh, yeah, here we go.
He said, quote, James Gunn said that Scorsese kept bashing Marvel movies to get press for The Irishman. So just thought that was funny.
Why even say that?
It's all come well, I guess you could say James
Gunn's doing that to get... He was probably asked about it, and he just gave his opinion.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and now James Gunn's doing refueling the feud to gain publicity for the Suicide Squad, which is getting very good reviews as of right now. So, congrats, James Gunn, on that. Sitting at a 3.9 on Letterboxd. It's got very good reviews thus far. Lots of people saying it is the best DC film since The Dark Knight, which is, we've heard that a million times. So we'll see. I'm seeing it tomorrow night. So I will let you all next week how the Suicide Squad is.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
And that's all I have for movie news.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it. I thought it was next week, not this week.
No, it is literally tomorrow. I'm seeing it tomorrow night in IMAX.
Nice. Well,
Sebastian, I'm kind of surprised you didn't actually mention this, but big movie news coming to Central Florida area where we are.
Oh, yes.
Sestero coming for The Room screening at the Enzion, which is pretty cool.
And I already have tickets. I'm going. I saw the news this morning. I woke up to one of my group chats blowing up about it. And I was like, what is this? And then I was like, no way. I literally went to the website and immediately bought my ticket. I saw Greg Sestero. Hey, Enzion Theater, I'm coming down there. You better have your spoons ready. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have my spoons ready, Greg. And then he's doing
spoons ready? Is that
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, I've seen The Room in the theater.
Just a part of the room?
Yeah, it's like The Room in theaters is like Rocky Horror. There's like a whole
Oh.
bunch of ad lib lines you say, and then you throw spoons because in every picture in the background of the room, it is a framed picture of a spoon. So every time a spoon is on screen, you throw spoons at the screen.
What? Oh, that sounds really fun.
Yeah. So when I
that-
saw
that
The
should be
Room, I
really
did that.
fun.
So
Yeah,
I'm going.
man.
I don't know about you guys.
I'll be
going.
out of town, man. I'll be out of town.
Maybe.
I'll be able to
Yeah,
make it.
that's
If I
unfortunate.
could have made it, I definitely would have bought a ticket. But yeah, I won't be able to. So
Yeah. You're gonna miss a photo op with Greg, and you're gonna miss the Q&A too.
yeah, that sucks.
The Q&A's got to be really good, but it's probably just a billion questions been asked before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, people are gonna be like, "Do you know where Tommy's from?" Just
Yeah.
stupid shit like that. Yeah.
Who is Tommy Wiseau? You should,
So yeah.
Sebastian. You got to pitch him our movie idea.
Oh
my
god!
Wait, we gotta develop it, and then I'll have like a pitch for him. I'll be like, Greg, I know you have a production company. Let me make a movie for you. Give me like $1 million from Tommy's money, and I'll make this movie. And then have Tommy in the movie, so then I could actually just use Tommy Wiseau in the movie.
And
you know how
Greg.
incredible that'd be?
Yeah, honestly, that'd be so cool if like you just mentioned something and then I don't know, that'd be awesome.
And Greg was like, "Here's Tommy's number. Give him a call."
Oh yeah.
We would have to work that series of events in the movie then, because.
Your name's
Sebastian.
Your name's Sebastian. You
All
wanna
right.
make-
Anyway.
You want to make movie with me in it?
Where's Big Shark?
I'm leading role. Oh my god, yeah.
Ask him.
definitely
You gotta
the
ask him about
best
Big
Big
Shark.
Shark. Actually,
I knew that
if
movie.
Big Shark is not out by then, that'll probably
Dude.
that was the question.
What
was
if
gonna
it's
ask, where
like-
the fuck's Big Shark, dude?
What if they finish the room, Tommy Wiseau runs up onto the stage, and then Big Shark starts playing? Grand reveal
Or-
of Big Shark.
The trailer.
That'd be cool. I was about to say if they had like a trailer for Big Shark before the room screen.
Oh my god, that'd be so
Yeah.
funny. I really
Yeah.
hope that comes out.
I will be attending a room screening with Greg Sestero, which is honestly just it's gonna be a life
that's
highlight. A life highlight,
Definitely.
like legitimately. So
It's pretty cool.
Well, let's move on to what we watched. Thomas, why don't you
Yeah. I think I only watched the 2 movies I saw in theaters,
Okay.
besides The Pick. So, I mean, Old, which I guess I didn't like it as much as Noah did, but Rough Around the Edges had moments that I liked. I'm sure we'll hear a lot about from Collin, but Old, I mean, I really expected myself to absolutely hate it, and I walked out like being really surprised at the fact that I walked out like smiling too, and like actually having really enjoyed it for what it is rather than enjoying it for laughing at it. But hey, I mean, it's a cool premise. It barely executes it well enough, at least half the time. I think you really just got to see it and form your own opinion. It's looked so mixed. It's so 50-50. And then Green Knight, which I thought was like borderline a masterpiece. It was so good. I mean, it's easily one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. It's just every single shot is just absolutely like stunning. And just like the actual like framing of each scene, especially like multiple scenes where he just let the camera sit and you'd watch in one space, and they would just literally be only Sir Gawain moving. Like specifically the scene of where he's walking through the fog and you just see his silhouette as he walks through. Oh my god, it's fucking insane. Like I was just blown away the whole time. It's like profound in a way. It has one of those elements of the films I like a lot where you get to finish the story in your mind and you get to like piece it together, and it lets you play that game along with it. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend seeing it. And then Between the Lines.
Nice. All right. I'll go next. Old. I was actually looking forward to seeing Old because I thought the trailer was decent. And it's kind of the opposite reaction of what Thomas had. I was looking forward to it, and I ended up hating it. For me, Old is like the worst movie of the year right now. I just thought it was like, okay, conceptually, like the premise, yeah, interesting. I like
Yeah, of course.
where it could have gone. But I don't know. I just thought it was executed terribly. The like first act is decent. Second act just kind of gets boring. And then the third act, I really couldn't care less about. I thought it was some of the worst acting by some, by a cast that's, usually good. I really hated the performances pretty much all around. I thought Alex Wolff gave the best performance, but he was still like nothing compared to what I've seen him before. Also, like my biggest gripe with this movie is just how it literally explains everything. It's like some of the most exposition heavy and annoying dialogue I've ever heard. Like it bothered me so much. How literally everything was explained. There's a scene at the end after the reveal, and it's implied that these characters made it. I mean, it made it, and then we go back to learn how they made it, and
which is
nothing.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny because every single time we watched a trailer, I'd be like, they're explaining everything. You'd be like, hey, it's there.
I was giving it the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
and it let me down. I mean, it's terrible. Some awful dialogue, terrible acting, and just some weird creative choices I didn't like. I will say it looks nice. I like the majority of this cinematography, though. I remember talking to Thomas that some of the
50-50.
compositions just were weird. Yeah. Some of the compositions and camera movements, I really wasn't a fan. Old, I don't know, bad. I like the setting though. That wherever they shot it.
Yeah, it was a very nice looking place.
But yeah, man, that was a movie that the more I thought about it, the more frustrated I got. And I can kind of feel that again.
No.
Jungle Cruise was.
Oh, hey, I forgot to talk about Jungle Cruise.
Yeah,
I was there.
Why you didn't mention it?
But Jungle Cruise. I wasn't really expecting much from it.
I just forgot.
An enjoyable time. And it definitely has some good aspects. The Rock is very charismatic and gives a solid performance. Emily Blunt is freaking hot in this movie. I mean, come on. She was great.
Oh yeah.
This were great.
It's worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Performances were solid. I liked some of the action sequences. Production design was obviously like A+, but this is honestly, it was like pacing wise, it was kind of all over the place, really CG reliant. The story, if you can even really call a story, I mean, you could tell there were like 7 or 8 writers on this movie, and you could tell they were pulling whatever they could. They're like, shoot, what do we do with this movie? You could tell they had nothing to really go from, because I mean, it's just based on a ride. Yeah, wasn't a fan. The humor was pretty hit or miss. It was, pretty derivative and predictable at times. It was, whatever. Not good. But, Emily Blunt was, just looked amazing. And that was my favorite part.
Okay, we get it, Collin. We're crushing Emily Blunt. I mean,
Oh my god.
The Green Knight. Went and saw The Green Knight, and though I can't say I liked it as much as Thomas and Noah did, I still very much enjoyed it. I need to see it again. I feel like it's a movie that demands a second viewing, multiple viewings at that. Yeah, obviously gorgeous cinematography, amazing production design. Wherever they shot it was, just looks amazing. The costuming, the score and the soundtrack, the sound design especially, really liked the sound design. Performances were solid, and surprisingly well paced. I was expecting like a slow burn that like got me bored, but I really think it was, it kept you immersed, kept you engaged, and it definitely subverted a lot of expectations. I was trying to predict where things would go as it went along, and right when I thought it was gonna like pull something really disappointing, it like 180, and I was like, ooh, see, that was cool. So yeah, I liked it. Can't say I loved it. There's a lot of things I'm still just like, what do I even think about that? But I definitely want to see it again. up there in some of the one of the top movies of the year for me so far. Then I watched Stillwater, the new Tom McCarthy movie with Matt Damon, and this really surprised me. I don't know if you guys would necessarily like it, but I really enjoyed it. It's probably my number one or number two movie of the year right now.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I thought it was a really effective drama that balanced some comedic moments with really effective emotional moments without being overbearing or melodramatic. Like the character work, like the writing, like the story. It was shot well. Yeah, just a really all-around good movie. I really enjoyed it. It's one of those movies I don't really have much to say about, but like the themes and the messages and the it all hits, the impact works, and I liked it. And then Between the Lines, which I watched last night, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. So
Alrighty, I'll get to it. I started off. Me, Collin, and Thomas saw Old. Pretty just very bland film. I just really don't have much to say about it. The trailers pretty much just kind of give everything away, to be honest with you. The ending isn't really anything special. It just, exactly like Collin said, the whole movie is just exposition dump, exposition dump. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. It's a beach that makes you old. It's very just boring. I don't really know what else to say about it. There is one scene in particular that legitimately is very frightening, and it's probably the scariest thing Shyamalan has done in years. But even that doesn't outweigh how boring the movie is. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a terrible film. Like, I don't hate myself that I watched it. It's definitely better than Lady in the Water and a whole bunch of other Shyamalan films. It's like mid-tier Shyamalan, but it's still a pretty bad movie. So, Old, if you watch it, it's a fine watch, but I will never watch this movie again. I don't care to. It's just very forgettable. I watched Love and Mercy. It's been on my watch list for a while, and I absolutely love this movie. I'm very surprised not many people have really talked about it. I didn't really know about it till about a month ago, and I like the Beach Boys. I like the music of the Beach Boys. So seeing Brian Wilson, who is basically the mastermind behind the Beach Boys, and kind of it's about like his mental descent into just really just shitty parts of his life. So it goes from like his past in the Beach Boys to up until like I think like the 80s, yeah, definitely like the 70s, 80s. So from like there's like a time gap. So you got John Cusack, and then you got Paul Dano playing Brian Wilson. Really excellent film. I really highly recommend watching this movie. It is not your just average music biopic. It's a lot more than just about. It's not really even really about the Beach Boys. It's not really about. It's really about Brian Wilson and his mental state, and just how his creative process is when it came to having all these mental issues. Just really fascinating. Truly, really fascinating. Human. It's just I don't know. I don't want to say anything because it's genuinely. I thought it's probably the best music biopic I've seen ever. It's just really great.
I'd like to see it. It's been on my watch list for a while.
Paul Dano is fantastic.
Yeah, I love Paul Dano. So.
John Cusack is wonderful. It's just a really emotional film. I didn't really expect that going into it. I thought it was just going to be a biopic about the Beach Boys, but it's not at all. So it definitely subverted my expectations in the best way possible. So highly recommend it. It's free on Peacock. So if you get a chance, give it a watch. Jungle Cruise. I thought it was fun. It's just one of those movies that kind of needs to be in the movie theater. It's just a fun watch with the family, with your friends. You can just turn your brain off for a while. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's pretty good in it. I like him. He's very charismatic. He always gives a pretty solid performance in any movie he's in. He's not like a great actor. He's just kind of I don't know. I just like him. He
does his personality thing pretty well.
Yeah, he's good at being The Rock. So again, I liked him in this movie. Emily Blunt was really good. She's pretty much good in everything I've seen her in. Like Collin said, the CGI, it's very CGI heavily reliant on that. But yeah, it's basically just Disney making an Indiana Jones movie that's not an Indiana Jones movie, even though they own Indiana Jones. It's just a very really weird.
They ripped it off quite a bit.
Yeah. The music is very Indiana. There's literally music in the movie that sounds like the indie soundtrack. It knows what it's doing, and that's why I enjoyed it, because it knows what it's trying to do. So I had a good time.
Oh, and I meant to mention Jesse Plemons also.
He's great.
He's hilarious. He's actually
I mean,
big. He's a huge highlight.
He's just a fantastic actor.
Yeah,
he
was a lot of fun in the movie.
You could tell he had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom Cruise. Honestly, if you get a chance to watch it, it's fun. I don't know if I talked about this last week, but I just forgot to log it. The last Fear Street movie, it was fine. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I think nice. I talked about it. I just forgot to log it. So, yeah, it's fine. Space Jam. Do not even ask me why the fuck I decided to watch this movie. Please, just don't ask, okay? I regret it. I regret it. It is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and I mean that absolutely seriously. This movie is like just everything wrong with Hollywood in a nutshell. And I kind of felt like this from the trailer, and my initial thoughts were correct. It is literally a 2-hour ad for HBO and for properties. Rick and Morty show up out of nowhere in a scene, and it's really awkward, because every time I've seen Rick and Morty in something, they're making fun of the property they're getting paid to do. But in this movie, they have no chance to make fun of the movie. They literally just show up in the movie, they drop off the Tasmanian Devil and leave. That was they were like crucial to the plot of getting just Taz there. So I just thought that was weird. There's a whole bunch of moments like that. You're like, what the fuck? What are they doing here? Like, there's all these characters in the background, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing here? And then the actual basketball is like 5 minutes, by the way. So, Space Jam: A New Legacy is fucking horrendous. Never watch it. The Green Knight, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. The more I've thought about it, the more I've liked it. And like Collin said, I want to watch it again. I've kind of went into the mythos about this story, because I know a lot about like the Round Table, but I didn't know that much about this going into it. I just knew he was Arthur's nephew and a couple other things. But I definitely really liked this movie. I'd say it's probably my movie of the year. And it didn't like wow me like Thomas, but I liked it a little bit better than Collin. I'm kind of like in the middle. I really liked it, but I don't think it's like the best movie I've seen in years. I just really enjoyed it. I'd compare it to like Blade Runner 2049, if I was to be honest with you, in terms of like cinematography and mood, because Blade Runner sets up the world really well, and the time, like the length of Blade Runner is long, but you are so engulfed in the world of Blade Runner that the movie kind of elevates itself, and you just kind of forget you're watching a movie. That's kind of how I felt watching this movie. I was so engulfed in the world of the Green Knight and the visual aspects and the score and the characters and the mood. It's definitely a more, I would say, moody film. I would compare Blade Runner and the Green Knight pretty heavily. They definitely are kind of like in that same vein. So the Green Knight, I really liked it. I watched Knives Out again. I just don't know why I do these things to myself. Okay. I watched Knives Out. It's fine. It's a fine movie. I watch it with my mom. It's fine. I have nothing else to say about this movie. It's fine. Luca, I thought it was fine. I thought it's really mediocre in terms of Pixar. I thought it was pretty predictable. I thought it was pretty I thought the story was I thought the how the sea creatures worked and all of that was There's just a lot of and it's just fine. I very much enjoyed Soul way more than this movie. Soul spoke to me personally more than Luca did. I thought Luca was very bottom tier Pixar. So and then I watched Between the Lines.
All right, Noah.
Well, okay, I guess the only one we'll talk about that we haven't already like sort of discussed is Pain and Gain, which is the first Michael Bay movie that I've seen that I'm like, wow, Michael Bay is a genius and like actually really knows what he's doing. So
I really want to see that movie. I heard it was
Watch The
great.
Rock. Watch The Rock next. The Rock is amazing.
Yeah, he is. That's like probably his best performance. I guess maybe like Fast Five, and I definitely haven't seen like everything or even close to everything. But it's the first time I've been like, wow, he's really like really keyed into what the movie's doing. And so is Wahlberg, but I feel like that's a little more obvious. Got Shalhoub, Ed Harris, a bunch of fun people.
I'm just gonna say, Noah, this is kind of surprising. I don't know. I just never thought I'd hear you talk about Michael Bay in a positive light.
Well, yeah, I think that's basically why I watched this movie, is because I'd heard it's like his most interesting, certainly since like Armageddon, like his third movie or whatever. At this point, I might, be kind of done with him. I'm not really sure.
The Rock's really good.
Yeah, no, certainly.
He's talking about the movie. No.
Yeah.
He's not talking about the
Rock?
man.
Yes,
No, yeah, The Rock.
Yes. No, I agree with that. I actually prefer that to Pain and Gain.
Oh, so
Pain
you've
and
seen
Gain.
that one. Okay. I didn't.
That's
what we
there
were
we
saying.
go.
Yeah, so you have
We've
some-
got there. We were all so confused.
I was talking about Michael Bay's The Rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, it was a little confusing, but anyway. Pain and Gain, really, really like misanthropic, really like, wow, this sucks. And because it has the classic Michael Bay problem of being like 20 minutes too long, it just leaves you feeling like really drained, both because it's, like a draining movie in general. And as I mentioned, it's a little too long. Okay. Other than that, The Green Knight, hey, masterpiece. What can I say other than it's a masterpiece? I'm actually not sure that I agree that the cinematography was like the best element of it, as everybody has been saying. I think I agree with Collin that like I like the sound design and the score a little more. And I really think it's like a really smart way to plot a movie, which Collin kind of touched on. I don't know, even though it's like leading to a conclusion that's like inevitable, like literally inevitable. It, just so much of the first 30 minutes just being like, all right, here's the setup, and his life is bad, and literally nothing happens except for the duel. And then a year passes, and we spend like 15 minutes just saying, like, by the way, a year passed, and nothing at all has changed in his life. I think that's. Oh yeah. Also, like, I think it's a very not even very though. I think it's a tongue-in-cheek adaptation without being like overly, like self-aware or fourth wall, wink, wink. But it definitely like knows what it's doing.
It's also
He definitely. You could tell he had a vision when he wrote and directed this. He knew exactly.
I didn't mention this, but like the thing I think I appreciate the most about this movie is he kind of took his own interpretation of the story, because if you read into the lore, like I'm not going to like spoil anything, but it's very definite. Like when you read the actual story, it has a definite ending. But I liked how Lowery kind of crafted his own interpretation and ending to the story. Like it's not a definitive ending. It's kind of whatever you get from the film, and it's a very ambiguous ending, which I appreciate, because the actual ending to the story, if it ended like that, everyone like it'd just be like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Michael and I were talking about, Sebastian, like any way you look at it kind of works. You know what I mean? So I really appreciated how interpretive the ending was too. Yeah, it was really
fucking. All right, so I am going to like straight up spoil the ending of The Green Knight for any of you.
Okay, spoilers, guys.
Spoilers.
Yeah. It fucking. This is so like literally so stupid, and Sebastian might not even remember what I'm talking about, but it reminds me of the end of the movie Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, where there's like a huge epic battle sequence that lasts like 20 minutes, and then it's just like, oh, it was a dream, and then it ends anticlimactically. And I think both of them like use that narrative device because they're like bound by the source material, which is like so funny. It's also just so funny that that's where my mind is.
It's so funny because it's so true.
Yeah. So anyway.
Do we want to rate The Green Knight, since all of us like recently?
I'm giving it an 8.5.
Okay, I'd give it a. Go ahead, Noah.
I would give it a 10. I mean, maybe a little less solid 10 than normal, but still a 10.
Shoot, I mean, at that point, I'll also just give it a 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 7 for now.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I liked it. I thought it was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm like right in between all of you guys, because I really do like it, and I feel like once I watch it again, I will probably definitively call it a masterpiece, because that's kind of how it was with Blade Runner 2049, because I loved it, and then I watched it again, I'm like, yeah, this movie just fucks. I mean, there's nothing else to it.
And so that would be a 8.88.
That would be a really strong.
Yeah, if that was a pick. Do we want
That's another really good theater movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, we had
totally.
people
Yeah,
walk
so
out. I
good.
didn't even mention that. We had
Oh,
a,
yeah.
my review.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, my review,
Collin, was really funny.
Yeah, I put it in mine too because literally there was just a whole bunch of frat bros behind us, and they had like a
Oh,
chick with
really?
them. Yeah, they were like frat guys. Yeah, and they were like, man, they literally like I was listening to them whisper because it was really annoying, and they were like, man, this movie is just so confusing, bro. I don't know what's going on. And then one of them was like, yo, let's go watch Jungle Cruise, bro. I can't do this anymore.
No way.
And then they got up. Yes, they do. Yes, they did. They literally were like, I'd rather go watch Jungle Cruise, man. And then they got up like 5 minutes after that and then left. And I assume they went to go watch Jungle Cruise.
Really funny. I mean, yeah.
I think there was only like half an hour left in the movie too, or something.
No, yeah. There was
funny.
it was literally they left at the part where Enfy's Nest solo girl or Captain America or Falcon Winter Soldier girl showed up. They left like right there.
Wow.
Redhead girl with the skull in the water. Her. They left right there.
Yeah.
I forgot she was.
Oh, okay. I mean, that was
Yeah.
a little more into the movie, but still, either way.
Okay, before we move on to Between the Lines, Noah, I really do want to hear what you had to say about Old, just like brief thoughts. Because it seemed like you obviously liked it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I like loved it or anything. Definitely. I mean, but it's like a top 5 Shyamalan for me, so I don't know. I guess it is like pretty good. I guess. I definitely did enjoy it. It's, for one, to preface, I think I will say that it helps that I did not see any of the trailers, so I had basically no idea what to expect, except I sort of knew what the beach looked like because I think I had probably seen like 3 seconds of a trailer or something, and obviously I knew like who was in it to an extent. But yeah, I definitely hadn't seen everybody saying we're on the beach that makes you old and I'm gonna be old,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it as just sort of a anti-narrative almost, where it's just we're gonna spend this entire movie trying to get off the beach in like extremely ineffective ways, and just here's another problem. But in the end, it's all about family, which I mean is obviously like a very cheesy thing to say.
It's always about family.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say the actual family dynamic I didn't mind. I thought like the characters were fine, and there was that scene at the end. I forget the actors' names, but the mom and dad, like he's gone blind and she's gone deaf.
Yeah.
A scene at the end, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, I definitely like that. I was going to bring that up, probably literally next. And also, I do think the acting was good. I don't really know what you want. It wasn't, great or anything. I do think Vicky Krieps and Gael Garcia Bernal were, really great. And everybody else was, pretty solid. Nobody giving, this performance.
What do you think of mid-sized sedan?
I mean, what do I think of? I don't know. He's a funny guy. What do you want me to say? No, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I guess maybe the biggest complaint against the movie, which is a pretty obvious one and true for most horror movies, is that only the main characters really have any personality and everybody else is just career, which again, I think it leans into in a sort of goofy, fun sort of way. And it's just wait, so Vicky Krieps is an art historian, so she knows how bodies decompose. But I don't know. Again, I think it's definitely not totally self-aware, but M. Night is not really, if you're going into an M. Night movie expecting evolution at this point, I don't know what to tell you, I guess.
I enjoyed Glass. I enjoyed Glass.
Yeah, I like Glass.
I was
We're kind of flipped on, which is fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really midway through, I just wanted it to be over. I really did not enjoy it. So whatever.
The one, I'm trying to think if I can. I literally also just saw this 3 hours ago. So there's that. I think the only other really thing I'll say is the moment that we were just talking about with and specifically there's a shot from the back of the 4 of them just sitting in a line and they're all wearing different colors, and then it fades to black immediately afterwards. I think that would have been, first of all, such a great ending to just end there and then just all right, they're all dead at the beach. I think that would have been really fun. Probably would have.
I probably would have at least admired that, Yeah,
totally.
I knew it wasn't going to do that because Shyamalan has to explain or have some sort of reveal or twist or something.
No, yeah, I know.
Then that was just ugh.
Yeah, and I had heard that there was a twist ending. Which also, like, when you know that there is a twist ending, the twist ending isn't, but also, yeah, I don't really like the ending, but whatever, who cares? I enjoyed the rest of the movie, and it was only like 20 minutes, and I was like, well, whatever, I'll be out of here soon enough. At that point, I was kind of like, yeah, let's just get this over with. But
Yeah.
I don't care.
So do we want to rate Old as well?
I mean,
Sure.
why not?
Sure.
Um,
I hated it. I gave it a 2 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 3.5.
I'm at like a 6. It's closer to a 5 than a 7. It's like a light 6.
And I would give it an 8.
Wow. So yeah, that's a 4.88. Not good.
Pretty good.
But, oh well. So now, we got that all the way. Between the Lines, Noah's pick. All right, Between the Lines.
Yeah.
The lines. All right. As usual, I don't really have like a defining thesis on, like why I picked this movie or what I think about it, other than I guess I just think it's, like perfect. But other than that, it's funny, it's heartfelt. It doesn't really like, it balances such a neat tone between the two, between like just like sort of 70s character drama and like weird, almost surreal comedy. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Like almost just a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
I was
what's
thinking
going on?
absurd, like in my mind.
Yes, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But even like that, I don't know if that's like the right term. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more the word that I was looking for sure. I don't know. Honestly, yeah, like I said, I just think it handles such a nice, like just hangout movie tone in general. Second time watching it didn't really change my opinion at all, which is kind of surprising. I think for me, normally I pick up on more things or whatever, or am like, maybe this isn't really as good as I thought. But I mean, I still loved it like a lot. It's, I don't know. I have like a lot of notes, but I didn't really, organize them into any super clear way to, talk about them. I guess sort of, this goes into what I was saying, but I like how there's like ostensibly a plot that's established in the first 10 minutes, what with the whole like, we're in this newspaper and it's about to get bought out potentially, maybe, and then eventually it does. But that's never like even remotely the primary thread until maybe the end. And it becomes sort of like a downer, which is kind of fun. Obviously not fun because it's like a downer ending, but I like it. I don't know. Yeah, and it's like a downer ending, but it doesn't
feel like sad.
The times we had were fun. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I'll open the floor, I guess.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. One of your better picks, Noah, I'd say.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I really liked it. I feel like it's kind of like the perfect snapshot of like the 70s. In terms of like culture and character and just like the tone and feel of the times, I guess. Obviously, none of us lived back then, but from what we've seen,
How would you know?
like media and stuff, I guess I'm assuming, Sebastian, you could be like 50.
I'm a vampire.
Whoa, what? I wasn't expecting that one.
That's why he's seen Twilight. God, that makes sense now.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I feel like it's like the perfect snapshot of like a time and era and a culture, and it just really worked. Like Noah said, I felt like the tone it works so well in like capturing real like human drama and emotions, and also like the whole like little niche industry of like a small newspaper in the city. I thought it captured that really well, and then it combined that with like some really absurd like weird humor moments, like when the conceptual artist comes in to their office and then they have like a conceptual art. That was incredible. Or like when David is almost like is like beaten up by those, I don't even know who they are, just like those guys.
Yeah.
And they like Jeff Goldblum comes to the rescue, and like every great like but weird moment was punctuated by just a fantastic Jeff Goldblum. Happening.
I was literally about to say,
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum is just, I mean,
he really
just
stole the show here. Like every scene he's in is just fantastic. And
early
It is
Goldblum too.
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
totally. It's like God.
And-
It's early
the end
Goldblum,
scene-
but still really good.
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
he was great. The end scene I think may have been like my favorite scene of the movie.
God,
Just like
it's so good. Yeah.
yeah, him talking to that guy.
Oh my
And
god.
then how he kind of like cons his way into like letting the guy buy his drink. Oh, it was
It's so funny though that it's like not a con, like it just completely works.
Yeah,
even
it
though
just
you're gonna be like, oh
feels
man,
so
just like
natural.
everything about his performance earlier is like this guy's just going to like, yeah, he's just gonna blow it, or like he's going to like barely convince this guy to give him his money. But no, then he's just like totally won over. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
and that's another thing. Like everything in this movie just felt like organic and natural. Like as I don't want to say jumpy, but like just bouncy and sort of like aimless. That might not be the right word, but as the like
I
narrative
think
is.
it's kind of
It's
Okay,
also speaking of Jeff Goldblum, it's funny to just kind of see how he's always been like that.
Yeah.
He's always been Jeff. I think this might be the earliest Goldblum I've seen, and it's just funny to see just how long of a bisexual icon Jeff Goldblum has been. It's truly something special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was like as sort of aimless as the narrative feels and how it kind of goes around between all these characters and such, everything felt so like real and natural and kind of organic, and it all just comes together and makes her just a nice, like Noah said, like nice little hangout movie. You know, I really enjoyed the characters, even as unlikable as some of them were. Everyone felt like true and genuine, and
it's like Dazed and Confused. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just
a
not high school.
one day hangout. No,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it. Everything kind of works. If like there's any complaints I have, it's just like kind of wish that some of the other characters, like the editor, like the previous publisher, maybe some of the other characters, you got to see more of them throughout. But I liked it.
Yeah, I think maybe this is not true, but I think I'm slightly more invested in the character drama, like specifically between Harry and Abby, than maybe the rest of you are. I'm not really sure though, which I think makes it easier to be like, yeah, I mean, we've gotten enough of the side characters. I don't know, like it would certainly be fun, but
That's
when
fair.
there are like 13 main characters and like, you know, like obviously like Harry and Abby each have a couple key scenes, Goldblum has a couple key scenes, Bruno Kirby has a couple key scenes, like Stanley, weirdly, Lynn, the secretary, like all of them have like, God.
In all honesty, this movie is like, as much as a hangout movie, it's one of those movies that doesn't really have a plot either. It's just a whole bunch of just scenes with these characters, and it's kind of, I feel like this movie might have been like, it kind of feels like a sitcom, honestly. If I was to really compare it to anything, it kind of reminds me of like a sitcom, or like kind of what inspired like the sitcom era, because it just kind of reminds me of like a sitcom a little bit. That's just kind of the vibes I got from this movie. But I thought it was a fun time. I really liked it. Again, Jeff Goldblum, dude, that's really all. It's really all.
So
And then
good.
it's also really well made too. I really like the soundtrack and the cinematography and the editing and all.
100%.
And then there's just like the tone and feel and atmosphere of the whole thing. It just worked. It just I found myself laughing and smiling, but I found myself, like Noah said, also invested into like the more dramatic moments. And I like the characters. Really good writing.
I mean, like the production design is also incredible. It's hard to tell how much of it is just like stuff that existed. Obviously, like probably the strip club was a real place, but like the office, I don't know. It's just like, it's so well designed. Like everything is just super tactile and crowded, and there's just like so much stuff in each shot that you're like, wow. Like just a bunch of like random like, you know, papers and like typewriters and like Jeff Goldblum's headphones is such an interesting detail. God, I don't know. I feel like there are like literally 50 more things that I want to say. All right. So like you reminded me, sort of talking about the naturalism, how like I feel like in a lot of these types of movies, both like hangout movies and also like even Sebastian mentioned kind of sitcoms, like there's always like 2 or 3 characters that you're like, why are they like here? Like I understand that ostensibly they're like, you know, like the nephew, or there's like a write-in or whatever, but they're like so fucking annoying that like I just don't understand why the other people aren't like, okay,
Lucy from Twin Peaks.
What? I love.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm joking.
So who is
kind of a pretty, but like Stanley and Michael specifically are probably the 2 like worst characters, But I think you
Yeah.
totally get why like everybody likes to have them around. Michael because he can be like a fun asshole sometimes, and Stanley because obviously like he's like not their higher up exactly, but he has like some sway over the newspaper, and as they're becoming bigger, and obviously he's like more of a more recent addition.
He
And I
was
don't know. And then
really
like
funny. Yeah. I mean, neither of them were likable characters, and Michael obviously was more of a like scumbag sort of unlikable character.
yeah,
Where,
and he's more of like an
Yeah,
actual
just-
threat compared to Stanley.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, both of like Stanley was funny and like stupid, like, ugh, like why is this guy? But I liked him being there. Michael, I felt like added a bit more like depth to what was his girlfriend's character's name?
Laura, I think.
Laura. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like John Hurd and Harry and Abby were obviously I think like the main focus, but then like Laura and Michael were kind of to the side, but they're equally as interesting, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I just like wrote down a bunch of like there's so many like funny like when Max takes Bruno Kirby to the record store and it's like, you know, what if it's one, what if it's illegal, it's one, what, like it's just so God. And Bruno Kirby in like a really underrated comic role.
He was great too, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the end scene where it's kind of like showing everyone after the buyout and he's getting interviewed by that like high school kid or whatever, and he's pretending to be like this seasoned veteran journalist or whatever, giving him advice and stuff. That was funny.
Oh my God. And then also just like how he just keeps bothering Roy Walsh at the club, who eventually like just tells him, all right, I'm gonna like send some guys to beat you up. Like it's just so funny that he just like keeps doing it without any deterrence whatsoever. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself.
Thomas, do you have anything to say? We didn't really give you a lot of.
It's fine. I mean, I liked it a lot. You guys basically said everything I would say. The only thing I would add is like, I mean, the characters are really, really well defined. I mean, like you
Totally, yes.
understand who everyone is and their place.
Yeah, that's actually something I wrote down. Like even before like anyone starts speaking, like you're just like you see Bruno Kirby and you're like, oh, I know like exactly what his role is in this.
Yeah,
movie.
they feel and together they feel like an actual like news, you know, or newspaper team working together. Yeah.
It feels very real.
And it goes to how good like the writing and performances are. Like John Hurd was really good in this movie, and I don't think I've seen him in like anything other than like Home Alone.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, God.
but
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. Honestly, John Hurd is really hot in this movie, also, which I feel like is sort of what was I gonna say? Like a a caveat, whatever. You know what I mean? Of like the thing that you just said. You know, it's like a sub grouping of like him being good. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So between the lines, pretty good. I think we all liked it. This might be one of the higher post-roll picks. So we want to go around and give ratings.
Giving you an 8.
8.
I will unsurprisingly give it a 10. Might be one of my favorite, 70s New Hollywood-esque movies.
And I'd give it a solid 8 as well. I really liked it.
I'll differ and give it a 9. I was in between 8 or 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was a really good pick.
8.75. That's definitely up there among the post-pro greats.
I'm honestly kind of surprised everyone liked this. It's so It's like such an odd, like underseen movie too. I don't know. I was just expecting someone to be
fun
like,
time.
Like 6 out of 10.
It just worked. I was actually surprised to see it wasn't like, I mean, it's not rated poorly, but it's not rated super high either.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know, man.
Oh well, we liked it. You heard it here first, folks. The Post Pro Podcast likes Between the Lines.
On a side note, I watched the trailer for the Clockwork Orange restoration, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, restored.
Cool.
So just thought I'd mention that before we logged out of here.
All right. Well, before we get logged out of here, Thomas, it is your pick.
My pick. All right. Just give me straight up. Should I go nostalgia or watch list pick?
Watch list is a little vague.
Yeah.
Well,
are you talking like randomizer? Boom. Okay.
No, just something on my watch list. I have one for my watch list. I don't know. It's like.
All right. We'll specify a bit more. Like,
I don't really know. I don't know too much about the movie.
Pre-2000s or post-2000s?
Post 2000s, mid 2000s.
Okay,
Mid
well,
2000s. And when is your nostalgia pick? 90s or 2000s?
I think this would be really early 2000s.
great.
I don't know.
Oh no, 90s, mid 90s.
Should we flip a coin?
Sure.
I'll just say watch list. I don't really care. If you
Watch
guys
list.
have another one, then I don't.
All right.
I'm down for whatever, dude.
The watch
Yeah,
list
I was
pick
going to
is
say nostalgia.
The Science of Sleep.
Oh, that movie
That's,
that played
Gunn
at the
for
NCAN
me.
a while back.
Yeah, that I want to see. It's a Gondry movie, and so I mean, I like Gondry's films quite a bit. At least between the two that I've seen, and the two that I've seen were both written by Kaufman. So,
Hmm.
Have you seen this?
me, no, but I'm excited to watch
Oh, this movie.
Have you seen this, Sebastian?
No, I just remember seeing the trailer for it at the Enzian.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which is why I want to watch it.
I'm excited about this now because this movie looked absolutely bonkers. So
It looked.
Yeah, it did. So out of curiosity, what was the nostalgia pick?
James and the Giant Peach, which was one of my all-time favorite movies when I was a kid.
Really? I've never seen that.
it's a
It's
a good one. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, that movie kind of creeped me out as a kid.
I would watch it like once a month at least.
Dude, it
That's
was
insane.
it's so weird. Like for a kids movie, it's really not a children's movie.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, but I liked it a lot. It's been a while since I've watched it too, so thought it might have been fun.
Gotta add the Science of Sleep to my watch list before I just forget what it is. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the amount of times this past couple weeks where I asked Colin, "Wait, what's the pick this week?"
Me
again?"
and Collin forgot it multiple times. To be honest with you, I just
Yeah,
totally,
no,
I
that
just
makes sense.
forgot. So yeah,
So yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the 55th Post Pro podcast. We talked about Between the Lines, which we all very much enjoyed. And next episode, we're going to be talking about and discussing the science of sleep. So that should be interesting.
oh, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a good one.
And signing off on the Post Pro podcast.